Hi y'all! How we doing? I'm so excited we're all here together. I just want to take a moment and thank you all for taking some time to chat with me. I know I keep saying it, but this crew and this project has felt like one of the closest knit groups I've worked with so far, and I really wanted to take a moment and highlight that and get to talk about all the fun that we had on set. So I want to start off by having everyone introduce yourselves. In whatever order you want to go, and just say your name, your department, like what you did, and how you stumbled upon being a part of maybe Someday and Brand New.
I'll start. I'm Leo. I'm the producer, and I stumbled upon this when I encouraged Lindsay to make her EP after hearing her play so many songs in our living room. And then it turned into kind of a music video project, and it evolved from there.
Yeah, seriously, I just want to highlight like you believing in me and like just saying, hey, if you can get two songs recorded and snowballing into the whole EP was like a wild journey. So thank you for that.
All right, I'll go next. My name is Sydney Godwin, and I'm the director. I was so thankful to be brought onto this project because I actually had a class with Leo. I think it was fall quarter last year, so about a year ago. And I was literally always talking about how much I love music videos to Leo the whole quarter. I was asked to do the project, and I was so ecstatic to do it. And so I hopped on during the summer, and I was so excited to work with both of you. And I love music, and so I'm very thankful to have been on this project. So yeah, thank you guys.
I'm Sam. I'm the production designer, and I actually heard about this project through Sydney. So piggybacking off of that, I had worked with Sydney on like one of her narrative films, and it was just like such a good process, and we had like good communication. So she reached out to me with this opportunity to PD for it, and I had never done a music video either, so I was really excited to join. And it was a lot of fun, and I had such a great experience.
Um, I'm the other Sydney, Sydney Brooks. And I came on this project, I think it was a senior pitch night, and I met Lindsay and the other Sydney. And then we just clicked, and I said, whatever I can do to help y'all, I want to do. And then I came on as the assistant director for maybe someday.
I can go next. My name's Autumn. I was the line producer for this project, and I had a class with Leo and Lindsay our freshman year. And from there, like we became friends in the class, and then we kind of just kept up with each other and each other's projects through the years. And then when I heard that Leo was doing the music videos for Lindsay, like I was all in from the beginning. And just working on these music videos has been such a I don't know, experience just working with some close friends and then getting closer with the crew here. Yeah.
I'll go next. Hello, my name is Barbie. I am the cinematographer. And same thing. I had my very first film class with Leo, with Lindsay, and with Autumn. Um, and Leo actually introduced this to me. She came up to me and she said that Lindsay was doing her EP and doing some music videos, and then she sent me the songs, and I thought they were so beautiful, and I was just so excited to work on it.
I'm still waiting for the Barbie covers.
Oh, oh, they're coming. I'm working on them, I promise.
Hi guys, I'm Isabella. I was the Steadicam operator for Brand New, which was an amazing music video that was a great experience and a great opportunity to really like go through some hurdles and like see what I could do with the Steadicam as well as like what we could do as a team to create like and design this really great like camera work and just like visuals just in general. And I think we did exactly what we needed to do and what we came to do. I'm not even gonna lie, I can't even remember how I came about. brand new, but all I know is that like at some point I realized like a bunch of my worlds were colliding because I know Sydney from one class, I know Barbie like from like forever, and I know Autumn from like since like our first year. I even know Luca from another class, and I didn't even know he was on this project until like the third day of set, and I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck? And so like I know Leo from somewhere. So it was just a really, really great project that had a lot of people that you know, maybe I haven't had the chance to get to know as much as I would have wanted to until then. And all that. So that's why I love it.
Hi, I'm Sasha. I was a choreographer for Brand New. Lindsay and I met through a SCAD dance class with Annie. And Lindsay had reached out to me that summer to choreograph Brand New. I'd never done choreography for a music video before, only stage. So this was just such an amazing process to, learn to choreograph with the camera and also just really, encapsulate the visuals behind, the physical visuals behind Lindsay's songs. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I was so happy to be a part of it.
I can go next. Hi, my name is Luca, and I'm the editor for both Brand New and Maybe Someday. And I was really excited to join this project because I worked with Leo and Lindsay for another music video project before. So I was obviously familiar with some of Lindsay's work, and I'd worked with Leo before as well. So it was just like a no-brainer to join the project. And I'm really passionate about music videos, and I know how passionate Lindsay is with the music she makes. So it just felt really exciting. So I'm really happy to be here with all of you guys.
So maybe someday was our narrative music video. I feel like when it came to like pre-production, when I was beginning like what I thought the music videos could look like, maybe someday came first. And that actually came from when we were recording the music. It was originally just supposed to be piano until someone in the booth mentioned I should add strings. And I was like, strings! I know someone with strings. And I reached out to Wayne, and he so graciously joined the project with his cello. And it wasn't until I heard what he wrote that I really saw the story in my eyes, because it was as if the cello was having and trying to have a conversation with the piano in the song, but the piano wasn't listening, because there's a lot of give and take with what he did with like Room to Breathe. And I just really felt like this is so symbolic of what maybe someday is talking about, of someone who's going through something and someone who's trying so hard to be there for them, but they're not able to listen as much. And I think that birthed such a beautiful dynamic. And I was so grateful we were able to bring Wayne on. Sydney, I'd love to hear from the director's side what that looked like when I came to you with this story idea, because you took like this little seed that I had envisioned, and it's almost like, I don't know, like I plugged my brain into your brain and you saw like exactly the same thing that I was seeing, and I was really grateful for that.
Yes. So when you came to me with the story, you already had like kind of like the foundations of it all kind of figured out. And so then when I put the song and your story together, it really just made sense. It like I could just feel it in the music. And although I'm not as musically inclined, I can't play a note really to save my life. I still feel like I could feel like how the emotions were speaking and like how it told this story by the end, especially with like kind of the climax of the song. And so then I also just know like a mental struggle, like everybody experiences something like that. And so that's something I feel like is so universal. And so with this, I felt like we could really create something that everybody could see themselves in a sense. Because opening up to other people is extremely hard. And like I feel like we've all experienced it, and me especially, like I've felt that in my life. And I feel like it's almost like you feel like a burden and you don't want to put your struggles onto somebody else because you don't want to make them feel that same type of burden. And so I feel like just kind of looking at that feeling and understanding it, but then realizing why it might be important to open up to other people, and like kind of feeling that from Wayne's side, because when we were creating the story between these two, I wanted to have Wayne and his character like have his own struggle like with trying to help, because that's just as much of a struggle as Lindsey's character is having. And so kind of trying to understand from his side, like why it might be frustrating to not be able to be there for her, or like letting her open up, because it can help in a sense, you can help, and it's not a burden. It's what you like. If you love somebody platonically, romantically, whatever, helping them is what you really want to do, and being able to be trusted is something else. So kind of being able to see both sides and put them together and like create this really beautiful story where at the end Lindsey's able to accept that help and be able to push through on her own as well. And then Wayne being able to just be there. He doesn't have to save her. That's another thing we talked about a lot. It was like, this isn't like a save the princess Peach type of story. This is I'm here, like I'm just your rock. I can just be here to listen. I don't need to do it for you, but I want to give you the tools to be able to let you do it yourself. And so I just feel like it was a really touching story, and I was just able to really take on and expand it and see it and work with you on it. And it was so fun. And I loved working with both you and Wayne and Leo on just creating the story. And then of course Barbie. Oh, we just really created something really special, and I'm so happy that we were able to. Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved we didn't do it to the extent we did for Brand New, but I love that we were able to also invite Barbie to when Wayne and I were able to have rehearsals. That was really fun, especially with the big fight scene that you wrote, Sydney, by the way. And I know we went through a lot of hard work to get that in a good place that we were both really happy with. So I'd love to hear from the both of you on like the fight scene, Sydney about writing it, and Barbie about what it was like coming to that rehearsal.
So the fight scene kind of came about a little later, because I think in my director's book I put some reference videos, some that you had already had, but then I put Taylor's version of what's it called? What's the song called? It's a 10-minute. All Too Well. And that,
which
of
was
course, that has a little
crazy because
break.
that's like literally, I literally screamed when I saw that in the director's book, because that was what inspired me wanting that.
No,
Love
'cause,
Taylor
like,
so
I
much.
love that. No, I was like, I think this is such like a fun storytelling thing, especially in music video, because it just expands the story from what it already is. And we have two versions, one with it and one without. Well, kind of without. It's shortened in the one without it. But I really just wanted to like create a moment of tension, because you can't really just, I don't know, I don't ever feel it as impactful when it's just music over non-spoken words. Like I can never feel it as much. And so I felt like it was important to hear what they're saying and how they're kind of saying it to each other. So I think that's why we ended up going with the little fight scene in the middle, because it really helped us get that transition from being so closed off to accepting that help at the end, in a sense, because it really was a growth moment for both characters. And so I feel like we were able to play around with it and have fun with it, especially with like camera and stuff, to just really get that motion across, because it's such a pivotal moment in the story. And so I feel like Barbie, you really helped us get that like vision across and make it so beautiful. So yeah, if you want to talk about it a little bit.
This music video was so much fun to work with, because with narrative is so different. I remember the first time Sydney and I met about this, like super early on, we sat down and we like super analyzed each lyric and like like everything. We were writing notes. We were like, how can we visually express that our girl is like suffering and doesn't know how to reach out, and it like to translate that into the screen. I really took my time to kind of show her isolated at times, and then when you kind of see her wanting to get help, almost screaming from the inside to get help but not verbally saying it, the audience is closer to her because we need to be there with her. So for the fight scene, when that was included in there, I was so excited to go to rehearsals, because again, the pre-production for a narrative was so different, because it was like all in my head. I would do all the diagrams, do all the everything, but it basically is something that I'm just like imagining in my head. But being there for rehearsals and seeing the acting live and seeing how they were gonna move in this like made up space that we had to make with desks was so helpful to me, because I just wanted to visually show that in this moment, they're both struggling in their own way. They just don't know how to help each other, and they don't know how to communicate that to each other. But they want to both agree, but right now they're just really disagreeing. So yeah, I kind of wanted to show them isolated from each other, and just being there physically really helped me visualize that. And also, I wanted to show both of them isolated from each other, but the audience kind of watching us like a fly in the wall, like what is happening? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help them. They don't know how to help each other. It's just kind of like when the bomb explodes, like chaos happening.
Yes, I think we did a really amazing job with that, especially with I'm kind of transitioning a little bit, but like to we have a lot of match cuts that like match you because our grave scene is kind of like your inner world as your character. That's like we talked about it being it's not necessarily like a physical place, but like more of like a mental space that's representative of that. And so, especially with the fight scene specifically when we transition from the bedroom to the grave for the final time, I feel like that was a very special moment because it's like Wayne's finally kind of being able to see into your mind in a sense or like understand. And so I felt like we were able to really beautifully like kind of show that symbolically. Um, and kind of seeing how like you don't necessarily need words or anything to like help. You can just be there, which I felt like was very beautiful in the story and stuff. And I props to Barbie for getting those match cuts gorgeously.
Because I wanted to also give you props for the match cuts. Because I remember when Sydney came up to me after filming, she was like, so we have all these like different match cuts. I don't know how well they turned out. We didn't really get a chance to like see the day of, like if they lined up perfectly. And I was like, okay, like we'll see how it looks in the edit. Let's see if like I'll have to mess with it in any way. But as soon as I put it in the program, it just looked great. So yeah, props to you guys because the cuts just worked so well, like on their own. So there wasn't a lot left for me to do, which was just it was just great to see. Yeah.
I was so happy with how the end scene turned out. Like where there's like two, because I was fully like, I don't know anything about film, like Miss Acting Major over here. And I remember Sydney just kept saying, like, Luca's got a plan, we've got a plan, we've got a plan. I was like, okay. But no, it looks so good. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I've done like masking and stuff before with editing, but this was definitely like a fun experiment to kind of like see, okay, can I like actually do this and then how to make it look nice. So yeah, I'm glad it came through. And I'm also really happy with it.
Yeah. Speaking of the grave, Sam digging a whole like full grave. And mind you, I remember I was off doing my hair and makeup and I don't know what I thought it was gonna look like, but I was before like the grave was dug, it was just like a full like there were weeds. There was like a like you took out a bush.
Yes, I did. That grave was getting dug. It was a very interesting way to start my morning. I'm usually not a morning person, so to like be there at like 6 a.m. and like my first task of the day is to dig a grave was like so like I was like, I can't wait to tell people what I did this weekend. Like people are gonna get so sick of me like saying, guys, guess what I did this weekend? I dug a grave and I buried someone alive. I was like, let me put that on my resume. So it was very this is like something I do love about films. Like, it's just you're asked to do some of like the most outrageous things sometimes, and it's just like, so I'm up for anything. Hey. So it's like great to be like, sure, I'll dig a grave for you. I got it. Don't worry, I'll make it happen. So, yeah, it was also like I remember like that morning it was very like rush against the clock as it always is with, like a lot of things in film. So while like cam team was getting set up, like we had to figure out like what spot we wanted to use. And because we were thinking like between like the front of the house or like towards the back of the house and like where we wanted to set the camera. And so it was like a lot of collaboration, like talking with like Barbie and like me laying on the floor and just being like, is it good here? And like just like straight up like on the floor like that. And then like with the help from our PAs and also like AD Sydney, like cutting the vines and like really going as fast as we could to like dig that grave was like, we were really like pushing it. And I don't think that was like my workout. Like I like my arm muscles the rest of the day, like my back, I was like, it's over. So yeah, I was actually so impressed, like not to toot my own horn, how deep like the grave ended up being. I was like, okay, this is nice. So, you know, it was really fun to like lay in the little dirt like patch that I did. I was like, wow, I worked so hard on this and I'm just like laying in the dirt. And when it came to like when you had to get in the dirt, it was really crazy because like I was wearing like cargo pants and like everything. So I was like fully covered. You were wearing a dress and like all the bugs and stuff. And when I had to like actually like bury you a little bit, I felt so bad. But you were such a trooper and you were like, this is fine. I love this. Like so outdoorsy girl. Like you were like barefoot, like so chill with it. I was like, okay, here we go. And I'm literally like shoveling dirt on top of you. And I'm like, is that okay? And then like I know like someone was like, can we put more like dirt on like her shoulder or her face? And I was like, I got you, don't worry. So it was really, I can't say that that's something a lot of people do often, so it's really fun to say that like, you know, just got to spend my Sunday digging a grave and burying Lindsay. So, you know.
No, it was so fun getting to say like I just got buried alive, no big deal. Honestly, it wasn't the worst thing. Like I guess my mountain girl came out. Like I live barefoot. That's my favorite thing. I'm home now. I can walk barefoot in my yard. But it was like surprisingly really great dirt too. Like it wasn't, if it wasn't for the bugs, I would have been so chill. That was literally the only thing. Cause honestly, when we just did like top down, like it was just like a weighted blanket that doesn't get hot. And I mean, like, someone invent that. Like what? It was
No,
like I
literally.
didn't like
You
it felt
looked
like
so relaxed. Like when I like looked back up at you, you were just like there, like eyes closed at one point. Like I was like, okay. I was like, I guess she's good. Like I
I
don't
know.
have to worry.
I
She's
was
like,
always so impressed that Lindsay was just like barefoot everywhere. Like never ever put her shoes on. And I was like, Lindsay, are you okay? Like just walking around this dirt just with your bare feet. She's like, I'm fine, I'm fine. Us burying her a lot.
literally. She
Like,
was so
what
like
the
in her
fuck?
element. She was like me outdoors, me in the dirt. I was like, okay, girl. See you.
I know there was so many things where I felt so many moments where I felt so bad because I was like on top of you with the camera and like I was like, like let's do it fast because Lindsay's under the earth.
that was probably the only time. The only time that I was like, okay, maybe this isn't the greatest moment was, and I know like it was my idea, right? Like it was my idea that we were gonna get this like Hosier Unreal Unearthed album cover inspired shot. But it just like didn't click in my head of like, hey, to do that, you're gonna have to actually bury your face, which like top down was fine. But I remember we did the face and it was Sam and Sydney just kept being like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And it
I
was
felt
chill.
so bad in your poor ears after. We didn't think to put plugs in.
Earplugs.
Something to
It
go.
No,
was like,
We were blowing
no.
dirt out of your ears with a little
yeah,
like
there's a lot to
Yeah.
think about when you bury someone alive. Like you have like how
Yeah.
you know, like I never would have thought to plug someone's ears when I'm doing that to them, but like now I know, you know. So
for the future
Prepared for
we'll
next time.
remember.
I mean, yeah,
exactly,
because this
exactly.
happens so often.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, you know.
The next time you're wearing someone alive. But yeah, it was crazy too, like the full face, because you know when you're underwater and you can hear people moving, I could hear every step that people were taking. And like props to Sydney Brooks because like I did seriously almost start panicking, but my good sis was there beside me the whole time. And I know like it might not have been a conscious thing, but the fact that like I couldn't see anything, but I could see like Sydney Brooks's gorgeous red hair. I could see like a red hair in the breeze, and I was like, okay, I'm
Thank
not
you.
alone.
Thank you.
It was a beacon of hope. You saw that
Yes,
red hair and you were like, I'm okay.
I
I'm
remember
okay.
you were also like buried so well that I almost didn't know where your arm was, where anything was. I was like, where do I step? I'm gonna step on Lindsay. I'm really scared. And I had like someone guide me to not literally squish you with my feet.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I just remember like right before we did the actual shot, the red beacon of hair was like the last thing I saw. But yeah, and like I don't know, it felt it I want to say because I think we buried I was ready. I was ready. I'm like, okay, we're gonna bury my face. We're gonna do it. And then I don't think Cam Team was quite as ready as we thought we were. So I was like fully submerged face, minus nose and eyes for like 10, 15 minutes. And like it felt like, when you're on an operating table and there's like just doctors and a bunch of people walking around you. That's what it felt like. And then I remember we only ended up doing it once. But as soon as like I emerged, there was a cut and it was like, okay, everyone get Lindsey. Do we have a rag? Someone blow her ears out. Someone do this, please. And yeah, so thank y'all for taking care of me so well after burying me alive.
It's
I
a
wasn't
pleasure.
I think another crazy thing that needs to be talked about is our piano. Leo and Sam, I know that was a big situation. I It was something that I felt was really important metaphorically with the whole like Wayne's character is the cello symbolically in the performance, and my character is the piano symbolically in the performance. And like I knew I was asking something really big, and I know every time I was like, I really appreciate you're doing this, but I know it was a whole ordeal. So can y'all talk about that for a minute?
For sure. That was like kind of traumatic a little bit. I know me and Leo were really toughing it out there. But like I totally agree with you. Like the piano is so like important to the story. Like what you were saying earlier about like you embodying the piano and Wayne embodying the cello. Like we needed those elements. And once I'm set on something, we're getting it done. Like we're getting you that baby grand piano. It's gonna happen. So I think me and Leo were kind of just like collaborating because our main issue with this thing was like transportation, and like sourcing it, of course. But believe it or not, Facebook Marketplace has like a lot of stuff for free. And some people had like this piano for free that they offered if we just came and picked it up. So Leo like arranged for us to have like a U-Haul rented for like the weekend, and we went over there, and like the people were super nice. Actually, they actually helped us load it into like the van, and like there was no way we were gonna do that by ourselves because it was literally just me and Leo against a whole baby grand piano. So it was like whole ordeal to like pick it up. But we finally got it, and it was also like my first time driving like a U-Haul like for like an hour on like the highway. So, we learned a lot. We really did. Um, and having it on set and like driving into this like woodsy area and like having a giant piano, like kind of like making all this ruckus in the back was crazy. But once we got to set and like we had everyone helping us out to like, push the piano and kind of like getting everyone in a circle and like being like, okay, ready, 3, 2, 1, like pull up, and like, everyone collaborating like that and shuffling around. So it was great to see like everyone help us with it. And I think it ended up looking so beautiful with everything else, and like just it would seem so ethereal having just like this piano in like almost the middle of nowhere. And like I think that really adds to that like dream like sequence in like her head, and like having Wayne with like the cello there. It ended up looking so good. It was so worth it. But definitely Leo and I'm sure Leo, I've been talking about this a lot, but Leo can tell you about like how we ended up like getting rid of the piano. That day was a process as well.
Yeah, so the piano, while beautiful, very beautiful, was a logistical nightmare. Um, picking it up, luckily there were like a bunch of burly men who put it into the van for us.
It was
Thank
so
God.
funny. There was
'Cause
like one guy, like I'm sure they all knew each other in the community, and one guy was like passing by on his motorcycle, waved hi, saw that everyone was doing something, got off, and like ended up helping them. I was like, okay, community, like love to see it.
yeah, I mean, back to this project being all about community, even strangers. But yeah, so getting rid of the piano, the location owner asked her because her husband is like a guitarist, and I think she might also play music, or both of them. But I, on a whim, asked the location owner, I was like, do you know anybody who would want this piano? Because I really would like it to go somewhere. I would like it to continue to live. So we actually found somebody who wanted it, but they ended up not taking it because of the condition. So unfortunately, our piano
Pissed me off so bad. I think we were both like so upset, but we get upset in like different ways. Cause I was like starting to get like really snippy with the guy. Cause like it was just me and Leo again, like trying to push this. Like I had to back up the U-Haul into like this guy's like front yard for him to come in and take forever. And like it was a day we had classes. So we were kind of on a time crunch and we were like, okay, perfect. We found this guy to take it. And then like Leo was just like silently like seething as this man like kept like stalling to take it out of the car and like kept inspecting it while like me and Leo were like there to like push it out. And like he starts tapping the keys and inspecting it for like literally like 20 minutes we're standing there and I just like lost it and I was like, so are we doing this or not? Because we have to go. And it was just so annoying. And like I think me and Leo the whole entire like the rest of the day when we were driving, we're like, this backer like sucks. Like that was like so terrible. But yeah, after that, like we just left and had to figure out like a plan B, and Leo came up with our plan B.
Yes, our plan B, which was the last thing I wanted to do because I wanted this piano to live so bad, even though it was in really, really bad condition and we made it worse with the dirt. She ended up at the dump. And when we drove to the dump and I told the lady what was in our van, she laughed at me. But obviously there was a big van, like there had to be something big in there. But yeah, so me and Sam took all our might, all our anger against that guy, and we pushed it out of the van and we drove off into the sunset.
Yeah. I think the piano, she went out on a good note though. Honestly, one of like my core memories is seeing like 10 people. I don't know how many, but there were so many. Like it really was all hands on deck to get this piano out.
I
But
have a video of like the piano just surrounded by everyone, and you just see like the feet going like this.
Everybody just
yeah,
It's like
was
when
it
you drop a
Cairo?
crumb and all the ants like swarm around it.
yeah, that was exactly like there was no surface of that piano that didn't have like somebody like put like hands on it pushing it up or something. So
Yeah, and then was it Cairo that was a piano tuner that got it to kind of work? But she had definitely seen better days, and there's a video like it was like I would try to be playing like what the actual song is, but it was like three keys down. Um, but one of my core memories is like when he sat at the piano and was playing, and everyone was just like, we all just took a break to just like appreciate music and dance and be together, which I think is like the whole undertone of all these music videos is just to connect through music and be a community and experience life together. And that was a beautiful way to go out. But I do think it was really cool again to get to see and know like all this behind the scenes things happening while they were happening. I know there's a lot of behind the scenes things. I remember the Thursday before we shot, I took the day off class wise, and it was just me and Leo, and we were in the apartment, like just sitting, like the storm's about to happen. We don't know what to do with ourselves. And then there was an issue with a U-Haul with Barbie that you had to leave to help her, and I had accidentally melted one of our pans. But then while I was staying back, I got a FaceTime from Sydney Squared to talk about, because we had some logistical things, which Sydney Brooks, I would love to hear. Was this your first time being an assistant director?
For a music video, yeah, it was.
Yeah, I remember when we first met you, Leo was just like, Sydney Brooks is a producer. I trust her. But our unsung hero, because we had a lot of footage that we wanted to cover, and we ended up changing the shooting schedule many times, and then we get like more shots that we'd want to end up shooting, and then I don't like, you were a miracle worker making it all happen on time. I would love to hear about your experience on the set of Maybe Someday and having to be that voice. But like, you were a voice that kept us on time, but you were always a compassionate, like there was never like never yelling, there was never like, hey, we're so behind, get it together. It was always firm, but always compassionate.
I really appreciate all the praise, but honestly, what made it so easy was everybody else's response to me because I don't have to get firm unless people, react harshly. And everybody was just like very open to hearing what I had to say and just made my job the ultimate easiest it could have gone. Like, because it's not always, fun to be the bearer of bad news and say, guys, you only have one more chance to get this shot. But when everybody says, okay, if we only have one more chance, let's make this one our best one, then everything goes great, you know?
I do want to just throw in my 2 cents too, because I literally could not have asked for a better first AD. Like seriously, because like I've had so many like nightmare experiences with ADs, being a director or not. And I just think honestly, you set just as much of a tone as anybody else. And like you're really just there to be like kind of like you just know exactly what's going on. And I praise you so much for being able to like work with us. And I remember one day we actually changed shot stuff day of because we had a little bit of extra time and we were going to get the bathroom stuff that day instead of the next day. And I was like so grateful that we did because we ended up getting a lot more time with some other stuff that we needed. And I thank you so much for like literally taking so much like effort and care into like knowing exactly how much time we have and like what we could maybe do. And like I just felt like I felt so like I could trust you just so much, and I'm so happy because you were such a positive energy too, and it was so fun to just hang out and talk. And yeah, I can't praise you enough, I swear.
Oh, I actually appreciate that so much. Like, y'all have no idea what that means to me. And we even got half a day ahead and got our Sunday morning off. So, I mean, it paid off everybody's hard work, you know?
Again, I just can't reiterate enough how great this team was, and like you're only as good as everyone you work with, and everyone we worked with was just so great and so compassionate and so kind and so positive. I know especially maybe someday was a little bit harder for me because we had to cry a lot, and that's the fun thing. But it was really beautiful having like such a safe space, because I have worked on sets where there are highly emotional scenes, and that is my job as an actor to do, obviously. um but there was just something different about the awareness that each crew member had, and like I seriously felt like I was being held up by every hand on that set, and it really meant a lot to have that safe space to do my job and to feel safe doing my job, and be able to do like a really intense crying scene, and like 2 seconds later we're laughing about um carrying in grass. We totally forgot about that, Sam, about the whole like yard of ground that we brought into a house.
That also sucked. That was like so. Actually, I do kind of feel guilty because something where I was like, earlier that day I had like dug a grave and I was like so over digging anymore. I was like, I'm okay. So I found a patch of grass that I was like, this looks good enough. And I just had my PAs figure it out. I was like, I need a break. Like, obviously I was like, PDing like the inside and like, trying to like do multiple things at once. So I'm really grateful for the PAs, especially like I've noticed that like um, I always usually end up like roping in the PAs to help me like on any film set that I am. So like I always feel bad because I always make them do like the most outrageous things. But we basically the idea was to like dig up these patches of dirt but like keep the grass intact. So it was almost like they had to slide under the like grass with like the shovel and like lift it up onto this like plastic like sheet so we could like haul it up like stairs into the bedroom without getting dirt everywhere like inside the rest of the house. So props to them. They did a really good job like, like toughing it out and like figuring out how to like methodically like take these like slabs of grass. And also shout out to the property owners who just let us dig up their lawn. They were so lovely, honestly. Um so yeah, and it was great, and like I would come in and check with like the PAs and they were really like pushing it and like doing like so good. And then like, we ended up having to carry that whole like I don't know like I don't want to exaggerate, but it was like 40 pounds of like just dirt and lifting it up the stairs and stuff. So having like people, try to lift this like whole thing and the sheet of plastic was thin, so it was starting to rip. And like I remember specifically at one point, like I literally got under the bag, like it was, I felt like Atlas holding up the world. I was like everyone like holding like the plastic bag on the sides and it's starting to rip. And I was like, oh God, like someone needs to get under here and like hold some of this stuff. So and like doing that while like climbing the stairs and like having also kind of like the piano, like everyone was there wherever they could, just like coming together and like holding it all up. And It was quite crazy, but the shot turned out so good, and like I was so curious to see how it would look on camera because like I can't see it on camera when I was setting it up because like I was there on the floor like spreading the grass and like looking at Barbie and like asking if like should I move this here or like make it to make it look more realistic. So I was like so curious, and when I got to see it, like it just looks so otherworldly because it's like have like real grass inside. It's like a dream sequence, and for a transition, it was just such a great idea. So even though I was like questioning it at first, I was like, why do we need to bring grass inside? Like Barbie, Sydney, come on. And then like it ended up looking so incredible, and like just seeing that vision like after doing it, it's like seeing one position of it and then seeing like the full finished thing was just like so it was rewarding. It was worth, definitely digging up all that and like having fun with everyone and like all getting together to like make it work is always so rewarding.
Yeah, I was so impressed by you, Sam. Like I was
Yes, like literally can't even
beyond
thank you enough. Oh
impressed.
my God.
Because when Sydney and I were coming up with these transitions and these ideas, yes, they're crazy. And it's like, why would there be grass in a bedroom? But I remember like also we were like, we don't want it to look silly. Like we don't want it to look like goofy, you know? But we were like all trust to PD and you went above and beyond.
Yeah, no, because I you tell me to do something, it will get done. Don't worry. Like I'm here to help make your like vision come to life. And like, yeah, it's crazy, but like I said, like I get to say random shit and I'm like, you guys, I just put someone's like lawn in their bedroom and like now I can just say that I did it. And I always love when you guys kind of give me a challenge because like then I have to like figure out how I'm getting like a whole patch of dirt into like these people's like room, and it ends up being fun. It's like a little puzzle. So, and like it ends up looking so great. And like when I get to trust you and like bring your vision to life, and like there's that collaboration is so like priceless to me. So I really enjoy working with you guys.
I
Thank
knew
you
when
for
I saw
taking
you digging up that grave, I said she is not here to play.
No, God, yes.
I was
You
working,
did
I was
the
like,
digging certificate now. You should,
yeah,
after all the stuff you've done.
I really should. I need to put that on my resume. I gotta get,
Mhm.
I was like, guys, if you need a hole dug, a grave dug, grass uplifted, I guess I'm your guy. Like, I can do more, I promise. But yeah, it was a lot of digging for maybe someday. So I didn't even get a break for brand new actually, because I still had to dig those like poles into the ground. So I was like,
Yeah.
I could not escape the shovel. I had to get like an actual shovel.
The way I had to come up to you and be like, I think we're gonna have to dig these holes deeper. It was
Yeah, I
like,
know.
oh,
I was like, I remember being like laying in the hole and being like, is this good? And you were like, sorry, we're gonna have to go more. And I was like, okay, it's gonna get done. Don't worry. Don't worry.
no,
I
you
was
were the
never
best.
discouraged. I was like, I will dig deeper. Don't worry.
Let's be bigger.
No, you are such a trooper. I literally could not have asked for anybody better to get this grave dug and to make it look as good as it did.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. You're too kind.
I just want to say thank you to Facebook and the universe for helping me find that location because I joined some groups and posted because it's so hard to find locations like with students being bad and misbehaving and people not wanting film sets. And so I like made a plea. I was like, does anybody have a house? And these people answered and they were so gracious to us the whole time. So I just want to say thank you to them for that.
Our locations for maybe someday was so great. Like they were literally just like, you want a grave dug? Yeah, dig a grave. Actually, let me help you pick out a good spot for that. Do you want, because I know she also offered her shovel. Like, do you want to borrow our shovel? Do you want to put a piano beside this big rooted tree that we took our wedding picture at? They were so into it too. I think was it she was a set dresser. And he made lamps and he was so excited to like show us all of his lamps. Did we end up including? I think
There's got to be a lamp in there somewhere.
yeah.
There's a lamp in the little mirror scene.
Yeah.
Yes, it's off
Right.
to the side. We got it in there.
Because he had said like if you want, you can use my lamps. And I was like, I feel like we can't not use your lamps. Like
Mhm.
you've been so gracious. Like we will be promoting your lamps in there. They are really cool lamps too.
Yes. I wish we had a website to be like, go buy lamps. And they also had two dogs. Autumn, I know you were like besties with them. Do you remember their names?
Oh my gosh. One of them was like Leroy, and the other was, oh no. Oh, I don't know. They were just adorable though. I took so many videos. I was literally chilling inside so much with these two dogs. Just, oh my gosh, Leroy and, okay, I'm gonna need to think about it. You know what? I'm gonna go find the videos. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I found a video. I don't remember the other one's name, but like I like asked, I was like, sit, and they sat, and I like shake, and they both went ah, and like to shake my hands. Like they're just so cute. They were just the cutest things ever. Maybe Lindsay was my favorite part, but maybe they were my second favorite part of that.
Yeah. But yeah, they were these two, oh my gosh, what kind of dogs were they? I don't remember. Autumn can tell you when.
They were like mastiff breeds, like kind of like almost boxer, but pit bull. Not even. I don't even know if they were purebred or mutts, but they had the kindest faces, and they would just come up and just like, he's so sweet. They were so adorable.
Yeah. I remember two PAs when we did the fight scene. Two PAs' jobs was literally sit outside with leashes with the dogs. And I was like, can we actually trade jobs? No, but they were the most like therapy dogs too. I remember it was right after we shot we were taking a break after the second day that we shot the second part of the fight scene. And that was really rough for me personally because which Sydney, thank you for making it happen. I remember we did dialogue and we had dialogue for the fight scene part in the kitchen. But then we forgot to tell our recordist that, hey, we're actually shooting the second part that has literally 2 lines in the bedroom. And we were going to shoot without audio. But then I was like, if we're having this full fight scene, I feel like for these next 2 lines, for it to make sense, it's really important. And we were like so running behind. But Sydney took off her director hat and flat out was like, no, I'll be a boom operator. And then we got it made, but I was really stressed and then crying on being really stressed. I remember we took a little break after that and I was just sitting on the floor in the kitchen and Leroy looks at me and he comes and he sits down and he just laid his head in my lap and I was like, that's a therapy dog. But yeah, Sydney, do you want to talk a second about that scene and making the dialogue happen last minute? Because that was miracle work.
Honestly, everything related to the dialogue and sound was so last minute. I remember we were trying to find sound people, and I found somebody like literally a few days before we were gonna film, I swear. It was all like, whoo, whoo. And then they got there right when we were about to start. So I was like, we gotta set up. We are on a time crunch, but like, oh, thanks to whoever like helped with that because I had PAs and like everything like being like, can you help? We need help doing sound and stuff. And then everybody just still having a good attitude was such a help. And I'm so thankful to everybody because I know in that moment, that was probably one of my most stressed moments that day. And so I was a little like on edge too, but everybody around just helped chill out. And then when we were like, oh crap, we're gonna need the next scene too, I was like, let's just get it. I know this little like pack thing that we were using, so I was like, I got it, guys. Because if you want it done, you gotta be willing to do it yourself. So if I wasn't gonna do it, I wasn't gonna make anybody else do it. So it's like, I I don't know. I was just like, I'm gonna put in just as much effort as everybody else, and we got it done. And I'm very happy we did because it was so worth it. And I'm so thankful to literally everybody who helped me out in that moment because I was stressed. But in the end,
Yeah.
it looks great.
I'm really grateful that we were able to make it happen and it was stressful, but we finished. And after it was like no one ever yelled. And I think like again, that's should be common sense, but I have worked on sets like it's so easy. Like we're in time crunches, we're working, everyone's really passionate. It's so easy to just forget basic compassion. But
Right.
even through like the stressful list of moments, it was always like we're all stressed, but we're all kind.
Yeah, and I also think it's like something that bugs me so much on set so much is like everybody has such an ego in a sense, and I feel like on this set we were all able to just let it go and just be creative and collaborate. Like I feel like like your skills are so valuable, but you gotta value just everybody else just as much as you, no matter their skill set. I mean, we're students, of course. And so I feel like I appreciated everybody just like letting that go and just being there and creating and like working together because I felt like that just made it work so much better and like it made it such a better experience like mentally than anything I've ever been on. So
No, I totally agree. And I know we've talked about like community before, but it's so true. Like just like the cast that like you guys were able to put together, like we all work so well. And honestly, we're just like so considerate with one another. Like I remember like, just checking up when I like on everybody that I saw and like especially like Sydney that day being like, hey, like, are you good? And like going to other people who've been outside for a minute and being like, hey, do you need water? And like them doing the same thing in return. And like we would always, I remember just always like verbally checking in like with other people and having people check in with me. And that's something that like you appreciate so much because it's like even though we're all like it can be stressful sometimes, we're all still looking out for each other. And especially like Sydney Brooks, like you just like what they said earlier, like you're not like a someone who like yells at people, like you still are able to get people on track. Because I've met some people who like are just like so aggressive with like the time thing and just like having like the energy to be like assertive and like still like take care of everyone without like heightening tension, like was so like that's like such a great skill to have. And like just everyone in general just being so kind to one another. It was honestly like even through stressful moments like that, we all like checked in, and I think that was just something that was like so special.
Just want to say as a producer, like I know producers and first ADs were like the head of safety, but having people share the load with safety really just makes everything so much safer on set. And like with all the moving parts we had, things could have gone wrong. And I'm so thankful that like everybody stayed safe and hydrated and eating well. And just it makes me happy.
I would say ditto. I think it was really great that everyone took care of themselves and everyone took care of each other too. Um yeah. Luca, I'd love to hear some fun stuff about the post-production side of things and your experience because we started editing with maybe someday and oh my gosh, one of my little core memories is going to be in Adler Hall, all of us like huddled around the monitor watching the first cut of it and seeing like the match cuts and like there's because I was there, right? Like I was doing it, but like it wasn't like clicking in my head like, oh, this is a thing that's happening. And it was like such a special magical moment for me to like be sitting there um in the room all together and watching like, whoa, it actually happened.
Yeah. Um, I remember that too. I feel like even like as someone who's editing the footage, kind of seeing it once it's like starting to shape up, like you can really see the progression from week to week or cut to cut. But you know, even for me being able to see that, I imagine how it is for you as well, kind of seeing yourself and seeing all, the work that you guys did on set come to life. So yeah, it was really exciting for me. Honestly, I hadn't worked with a lot of narrative stuff, even within a music video context. So this was definitely a bit of a challenge for me, but something that I was still kind of excited to do because brand new felt like something that was definitely more like in my safe zone, like something that I was used to editing. But with maybe someday, I was really trying to focus on getting the story across, but still making it flow within the context of the song, and kind of matching that energy of the song with the cut. And I think that, again, cam team and actors just really knocked it out of the park. So for me, it was just really about finding the best moments and everything, just putting everything together. Um, so yeah, a lot of great memories in Adler. I think watching the cuts and seeing it come together. um yeah, and to think that it's been a while since we started working on this project, like in the post sense of it, and just seeing where it is now, like once we have everything complete, it is just really satisfying and really just great to see everything come together. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just keep thinking back to our very first like meeting in the student center at the table with the cookies and all just
Yeah.
chatting and imagine
Oh my
if
God,
we
you
knew.
guys, you gave us sorry, these little like fidget things. I literally have mine in my keychain I just keep fiddling with it all the time because I never had like a fidget toy before. So it's with me everywhere.
No, that means a lot. Those are the best. I love fidget toys. I have a whole jar full of them.
There was one time when I walked into the bedroom just to see how things were going, and I see Barbie up on a ladder, like leaning over, and my first thought was, what is going on? And then like I saw there were like four people like holding on to her and the ladder, so like it was very safe. But what was that? I don't know what shot that was going on. It was random, like, okay, I'm gonna go check on the production. Oh my gosh, Barbie's like hanging off of a ladder with a
Like
gift.
that's something you see and then slowly back out of the room. Because I remember seeing
Yes,
that in the corner of the door.
yes.
I was like right next to the chandelier. I was like, I didn't even know we had a ladder that tall. Honestly, I was like, I have no idea.
You know
I
what? I'm
don't
going back to the living room. I'm gonna go pet the dogs. They got it.
literally.
That was, I think, the second shot we did of the day, and it was just very like chaotic because it's with the ladder there, it became a really small room suddenly. Um, and yeah, I was just up in that ladder getting that bird's eye view. I think I said, if I fall, catch me. Like, um, but it was fun. I had a blast in that ladder. I think I used it that day, and then I used it the next day for the outside scene. I was also up in that ladder.
Yeah. And it was so funny too because again, like themes of community, but it was so funny because there'd be like one person on each side of the ladder and then there'd be two people like with their hands up right under the camera because like I don't think y'all understand. My good sis Barbie was like, we're not leaning over. We're fully like I was always to the point if someone grabbed her foot.
Yeah, I was in like the highest step of the ladder, and I was like on top
Dangling
of the bed,
off.
on top of everything. There was so many people just grabbing my feet. Yeah.
The shot ended up looking so good though. Other stories or anything?
I think this is one only me and like three other people experience. So also I'm not sure if you can put this like online. But we were we were all sitting on the porch and everything, like the whole crew, waiting for night to come so we could do the performance scene. And then I go throw something away at Crafty, which was a little walk away. And on my way back, I turn and there are these strangers, not even the homeowners, doing this boudoir photo shoot in the woods. And it was so awkward. Like, I had no idea what to do. I mean,
Completely forgot about that. Oh my God.
yeah.
And like everyone was like, no
Trust, I
way.
wish I could forget. Like,
I didn't believe it. And I was like, I'm going to go throw this granola wrapper away. And so I went to throw it away. They were like,
Yeah.
look over there that way. Oh my goodness. There's no way. It was wild. It was crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, and I just remember being concerned because like that was like the spot we needed to set up the pianos and stuff. So I was already thinking about how like to move the piano there, and I was like, why are there people doing this over there? Like I need that space. And it was just like a whole like back and forth, like, what do we do? Like, how do we get these people out of here? I completely forgot about that,
Yeah.
Sydney. It was so crazy.
And then they like disappeared into the forest. Like they went deeper into the forest.
And then they never
I
came out.
never saw them again. It was crazy.
The sunlight come through when you think of me.
I just wanted to start off talking about the dancers and the audition process, and then we can move on and talk about rehearsals. But I had never been on the other side of the audition table, so it was really cool to see how that worked. I know there were some things that happened that made us choose who we chose because of just things that happened in the room. And I think like especially from like my actor's side, like we've been doing a lot of self tapes, but like there were some magical things that happened when we did it in person. And I think we might have ended up with different dancers if we didn't have everyone in the room together. So if we want to start talking about that, Sydney and Sasha, about auditions and fun things.
Yeah, I had such a blast doing it in person, and I know we had some virtual submissions too, but with everybody who came, which we had a pretty good turnout, I think it was just really amazing to kind of see Sasha work with the dancers and kind of see how they responded. And then, of course, towards the end of everything, like once we had learned the dance and once we had kind of gone through it a few times, we did partner dances, which I think we did kind of just to see them one on one, but then it kind of turned into like chemistry tests a little bit. And I think that's what kind of ended up making us choose certain people because we could see how they interacted with each other, especially like I remember Jordan and I think it was Haley. They were paired up together and they just like hit it off. They were doing some like improv stuff and I was like, "Oh my goodness, they just know how to work with each other." And then that kind of evolved into their character work as well into the actual music video. So I think that was really it, is just seeing like how everybody interacted in person and then how we could possibly like combine them together later in the video. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it was a very last minute decision to do that kind of improv partner work stuff. I was like in the middle of the audition, I was kind of like, okay, since we're gonna be, dancing with each other on set, it'd be kind of a good idea to maybe test to see how fast they can kind of jump into that, no instruction, just feeling the music, dancing to the music. So yeah, exactly what you said, Sydney. It was so fun to see how that moment turned into how some of the characters and archetypes were developed for the music video. And just seeing how people work together so well. It was such a special audition.
Yeah, and I think like the magic of getting to bring um the archetypes that were kind of created and then turning that into the music video and getting to explore that through rehearsal too. And like day one, Sasha, you did such a great job of like, hey, we're a community. And I mean, that's what all of Brand New is about, is like this community of welcoming people that are just doing things they love together. And you did such a great job of like day one, we're doing improv together, we're doing games, we're becoming cohesion. And I think like immediately I felt so connected and close friends with all the dancers. And the rehearsal process was really fun. We got to have Bella and Barbie there, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about coming to rehearsal and doing all of our cam tests.
Yeah, rehearsals were such a fun thing to do for me because the second, like you said, the second I got there, even though you guys had already been rehearsing for a while, um, once I stepped in, everyone was so welcoming to me and I just felt so safe and I felt like I could express whatever questions I had or whatever concerns I had with like the choreography, the movement, and the camera. Um, just so freely. And even just like having Bella there, having it be such a collaborative thing. Like both Bella and I kind of weirdly connected and like saw the same vision and we would combine ideas and then we would like try things out. Maybe they didn't work or like try something out and like it worked perfectly and I was like, yay. But it was just so much fun to be there. Everyone was so welcoming and so kind.
Yeah, definitely. My favorite part was when y'all would let me dance with the dancers
Yes.
when it was not welcome. So no. It was welcome. It was welcome. I probably
So
shouldn't have though.
welcome.
I really
Yes.
hope that you don't
You
add the
were
videos.
you were
I,
a dancer.
I really hope that you don't add the
Yes.
videos.
Like
No.
the first day Bella stepped in there and she said, I'm going in there and I'm warming up and I'm dancing. And I said, oh, you
Yes.
for it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
even just joining for the warm up, it was so like
It
it was
was
just so
because it was
nice.
really fun. I mean, like, I just love the way that you guys are, and I've never been to like a dance class. So, like, it was just so fun and collaborative between all of you guys, and just to get the energy up, because I think the energy was really important to just like the project in general. Um, but yeah, like going off of what Barbie said, everything really felt like a collaboration, because my job as like a camera operator and a Steadicam operator is to just kind of listen to what the DP and what the cinematographer says, and to be able to make that come true, whatever they want to come true, and do those things. And it really felt like Barbie was always listening to, like, if I had, something to say, like, hey, like maybe here's like a tip or something, or like how can we better the movement every single time. And that is definitely like I will always want to work with Barbie. I will always want to work with Sasha. I think that team, and especially Sydney. Oh, love you, Sydney. Like we had been in a music video class together beforehand, and I never really got to be on a project with her until then, and this was just like really great to see.
I loved having Steadicam for Brand New. Like I felt like that was such a unique thing we were able to like work on, and I love that we were able to all be there for rehearsals sometimes and just like really kind of like explore different ways to go about filming the choreography because there were just so many different things we could do, and I loved hearing everybody's input. And Bella, you're so talented. You wore that heavy Steadicam for hours. I
An
am like
athlete.
props to you because
Y'all,
you
I
were
was training for that. I was like, guys, no, I gotta go to the gym. I gotta work on my back. No, no. But it
I
was totally
remember
worth
when we
it.
were on the salt flat and it was so hot. No shade. It was all just sun. You were the most like I don't even know how you did it. You were just like I got it. I'm ready to go for another take, and you would just throw it on. You'd get your water and then you would run out there and we'd film it again. I was like, "Oh my gosh."
It was the energy. It was the energy.
You
That's
brought
what
so
I
much
really think it
energy
was.
though.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
much.
I can't remember it, but it was the energy.
No, I think like, and that's something that stood out is like everyone on set was so positive about everything all the time. Like, um, I know that I met you, Sasha, in a dance class, but I was taking a dance class because I will never consider myself a dancer. I like to move, but like it was so fun getting to be a part of like an ensemble that's dancing. Like I never thought that that would be something like I would voluntarily do. And you know, there's definitely some shots I'm looking at, I'm like, oh, that girl does not know what she's doing. But you know, I was having fun. And it was so great to be around people that were constantly like, even if I didn't know what the heck I was doing, like there was always encouragement. And there was encouragement for everyone too. And I think that was really a key aspect.
Yeah, even for the choreography too, it wasn't meant to be the most technical thing on the planet. You know, like going into this, I really just wanted it to have a vibe of that community, and because the message of the video, you know, it's all about like, you know, connecting with your friends and, you know, really being able to be your own person and find strength in yourself, but also have that amplified with the community that you're with. So I wasn't looking for triple pirouettes in the middle of the field. Like I wanted it to feel so just like childhood joy, like running down to the playground at recess type energy. And it's just hearing this now makes me feel so happy that that energy was throughout the whole entire cast and crew. It's really cool to hear that too. So
I'd love to talk a little bit too about the three relationships that we had with all the characters and how you incorporated that into the choreography. Sydney, feel free to chime in too, because that was a big directorial thing that you came up with.
So I think initially going back to like rehearsals and stuff, we kind of saw pairs initially, which I don't think is something we had like solidified into our casting before we did auditions. And so I think that's the auditions is what really pushed us to kind of do pairs of people. And I think we ended up doing 6 people. Unfortunately, we had a dancer drop. But we ended up having pairs in the end, which I think really fit well to kind of dynamics on set, especially when we did our like last little bit where you guys did duets, which was super cute. And so I think really it was inspired by how the dancers interacted during rehearsals and then specifically in the auditions. Because I know Jordan and Haley were in auditions together and they were the first. I remember very distinctly being like, that is something we see, which was something that kind of built to like finding who else kind of work together. Of course, we have Sasha, our Rose, who is our very like pivotal, like we kind of paired you and Lindsey up together. Um, and that kind of formed into something really beautiful and like how you guys interacted in the dance and kind of how you led her through the entire video and how you opened up Lindsey towards the end to kind of the other different characters. Like we had like an older sister, younger sister, a sprite, and kind of seeing how you opened up to community. And I feel like having all those different like character types is what made it feel grounded and realistic in that kind of way. So yeah,
Yeah.
Sasha, I'd love to hear like how you saw it and like kind of building the choreo.
I mean, I don't, it's just like it's the best thing with working with dancers, and especially when it's like we all are kind of collaborating together in the process, because they are just bringing stuff to the table that I would have just never thought about, especially when it comes to partner work and things like that. So after that audition, and we got those like archetypes down between, Jordan and Haley, and then Issa and Libby later on, and then also me and Lindsay, just kind of, I don't know, it really, what you said, hit it right, like hit the nail on the head. It felt like such a, like, after auditions, it was kind of like, why shouldn't we incorporate this? This felt like such a natural addition to the narrative of the video. And also just to see how people were, personifying these kind of characters, and just seeing how they had that same kind of expression throughout the music video, not just in their partner work, was just really, I love dance. Basically, point blank period. It's just so cool to see people just really take it head on, and not feel like they had to hold anything back. It was really, really just cool to see people literally bloom like that. No pun intended.
And I really love just how naturally we had like the entire scope of different types of community. Like with Jordan and Haley, we had like romantic, like the ways that people lean on each other there. Between Libby and Issa, we had like relational, like how you find community in your family. And then like with me and you, Sasha, like how you find community platonically. And I think that was beautiful. And of community, I'd love to hear more from the crew side of Brand New. I'd love to talk a little bit about our cam team. I know we have a story that we would love to tell about that. But from perspective of Cam, Bella, and Barbie, can you tell us a little bit about like your goals going into Brand New and how that ended up working on set?
Yes, with Brand New, when I heard the song, when I saw the choreography, it all just kind of like came together in my head because I really wanted to show this like beautiful story of growth and kind of letting yourself be helped and letting yourself just like be welcomed into a community of people that just want to be there for you. So that's why having Steadicam was so important to me, and I'm so happy that we got to have that and that Bella was on our team. Because I wanted the audience to also feel that. I wanted the audience to be there present with these people and kind of like be part of the choreography and be part of this beautiful community that they were building. And I feel like I wanted to show just the audience being welcomed and also do justice to Sasha's beautiful choreography.
You did it more than justice.
Yeah, no, kind of to go off of that as well. When we were talking, like when Barbie and I were sitting down and talking, like, what is the camera? Because usually when you're talking about like storytelling with a camera, you have to be like, okay, is the camera a first person perspective? Is that the narrator? Is that just like someone observing the story? And I think if I remember correctly, we had this discussion about it being kind of like a bird, kind of like some kind of form that's dancing with the dancers, right? So with trying to tell the story that way, with being inside of the dance, with being with the people, with the community, um it couldn't have possibly been something where like, oh, we just show up on the day of the shoot and we're like, oh, okay, like we're just gonna do a little like going over the team, going over the thing, because like maybe that works for other like music videos and other things, but for this one specifically, the camera had to be choreographed with the dance. So like even with rehearsals and stuff, we would have certain parts where I don't know, like the camera would maybe be getting in the way of the dance or like something like that, and we would have to like stand there and like take a second and figure out, okay, like how are we gonna re-choreograph this? How are we gonna reform this so that our final product did end up being something that really had a flow to it, really had a movement to it that I ended up being really happy with it. And I had that Barbie was incredibly happy with it.
I was so happy with it. And like you said,
Oh, I was happy.
like you said, because we got to rehearsals once the choreography was done. So when we saw it and when we had our vision and we were like a bird flying through the air, very whimsical, very beautiful, because that's what the song is. I wanted Bella to get in there. I wanted Bella to like be part of them, be with them. And Yeah, it was like I said before, I was never afraid to express that. And if there was a movement that I wanted Bella to get in, but she was like in the way, Sasha was never like, oh no, this is how we're gonna do it. It was always we were modifying things to make the best.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and then a big obstacle that we also had was obviously we can't have the Steadicam, like the rig, every single rehearsal. So I think after like the first few, we were like, okay, wait a minute. We got to make sure that we're not going to get there on the day of. We're not going to have this huge camera on my body, and then the dancers aren't going to be able to like realize. So like we had to also like make sure that everyone was like new, like okay, there's gonna be this really big thing that's gonna be like this big, and it's gonna be a very expensive thing that we can't knock down, and to make sure that everyone was practicing with that in mind. And I think that really did help so that they weren't surprised when we got there and they were gonna be like, that's not what we practiced. I don't think that ever happened.
I feel like there was a lot of collaboration the day up between all departments. Like, I feel like there was never a time that as an artist, I felt like I couldn't say anything. And I hope there was like never a time that as Cam, you didn't feel like you could, like I feel like communication was very clear, open, and we did have to like make some things up on the spot, but I feel like we took it and we ran with it and we said, well, that's just what it means to be brand new, hey. But no, I feel like and there were like a lot of laughs shared on set. So I'd love to hear Barbie, this one's coming. This one's coming. We'll start off with this one, and then if we have any other funny stories, yeah, the U-Haul story. We have to talk about it.
We must talk about the U-Haul story. Oh my God, it haunts me every day. Um, yeah. So we had this humongous U-Haul that I was driving. And there was a point in which we wanted to use this specific tree, this setting, and the U-Haul was just kind of in the way because it was a 360 shot, so everything around us was going to be seen. And there was these trees in the corner that I saw with my eyes. And I was just set in stone that I was gonna hide the U-Haul behind those trees. And I had at least 3 people tell me, no, that's not gonna work. But in my mind, it did. In my head, it was gonna work. So I got in the U-Haul, drove it behind those trees, and I was and you could clearly still see them, and it was just like so ridiculously obvious that the U-Haul was there, and it was just kind of hilarious.
I think what
And
really got me was that you were so confident. Like you were so, so confident. And then I wasn't like on set when this happened. I found out later, but I forgot who it was, but somebody took a picture.
yeah.
So you could see how the U-Haul looked. Like
I
with
was
all
still
the
in the U-Haul. I would not get out because I was
you
like, guys, we can just keep going. Keep
it
going.
was so because like the U-Haul is like orange, so there's like you can see like the huge bright orange stripe, and then you just see Barbie's face outside the window and she's smiling like, oh my God, I did it. And I was just like, it was too good. I need to find the picture.
Like, you guys, can you
Please.
see me? Like, can you see the U-Haul? And it was just like this huge orange wall, like behind the trees. It was, you could, like, in no way on this earth could you hide that U-Haul behind those trees. And
You were so sure.
I don't even see like I don't know if you could tell, but like you can clearly see the red stripe of the U-Haul. It's like, yeah, we'll find it.
I was so sure. I was so sure we could hide it.
I think I do remember like having the conversation with Barbie. She was like, I'm gonna move the U-Haul because there was another spot further back that was completely out of the way. It was a little bit of a walk from where we were. And I was like, it's probably just best to park it there. We should probably just park it there. She's like, no, I can hide it behind this street. I said, okay, go ahead. And then
Other people told me, I think another extra person
yes,
told.
many people told, and I remember watching you. I was standing with people off to the side, and we were watching you like back it up and then pull it behind that tree, and you just kept pulling forward like that was gonna hide it even more. And we were just looking at each other like, this is not gonna work. There's just no way.
Even as I was in the car driving it, I could hear people yelling from the window, like, Barbie, that's not gonna work. Ignoring them. I said, yes, it is.
So that's a Delulu we all need sometimes.
Oh my God, that picture is hilarious.
Yeah.
I will say for those like 360 shots or just more like complicated camera movements, it was so fun to look back through the footage for it when I was doing the edit because Bella would just like make comments every time. So it's like the camera goes slightly in the way, she'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then like it would go the other way and it was just really funny to watch through and kind of pick out which ones were the best because you could always just hear Bella in the back. So it was just great.
Before we move on from brand new, I would like to talk a little bit about our production design because, like, Sam, looking back, it's like those BTS pictures can be straight off of Pinterest. Like, like the picnic scene. I'd love to hear a little bit about like your inspiration and what it was like for you designing for brand new.
Yeah, for sure. So designing outside is always like a little bit of a challenge because you can't necessarily like control the elements. So thank God the weather was good that day. So like the natural lighting was like perfect and all that. The only thing I do remember, especially about the picnic scene, was that it had rained the night before. So when I was setting up all the blankets, I don't know if the actors and dancers could feel it, but like I felt so bad because the blankets ended up getting wet and I was like, these people have to like sit here for like hours. And I was like, I'm so sorry. But honestly, it was like so fun. I decided to kind of like stick with like since like it was outdoorsy, like very neutral colors and whites and like brand new, like restarting fresh and like everything's like clean and white. And I wanted to kind of incorporate that and like specifically like some pink, just also because of like the whole like rose symbolism. I kind of wanted to incorporate that. And so like having that little patchwork of blankets there and like even matching like the food, like I chose like apples and strawberries and like little teacups that had like little pink flowers, like really small things that kind of like hopefully made it like look really cohesive and aesthetic. And it was really cute seeing like all the dancers like on there and like having an actual picnic for the scene because it was really cute to see them like enjoy the setup that I did and like they got to like actually like chat and like eat some of the food there and it was just like really sweet to see them all there. And also shout out to Evan. I know they're not here right now, but the costumes like came out so good and they matched the colors of the set so well. And even like the whole thing with like Sasha as the rose, how like the dress and the rose like also matched with that pink, like that was such like a good like honestly, we didn't even plan on that, but it worked out so well and I was so happy for it. And yeah, it was really fun. And then I will talk about the scene with like the clothes line things. I'm not gonna lie, I was so stressed about that. Um, but thankfully I forgot his name and I feel so bad. But like one of the crew members helped me dig holes and like he just had like a really strong hyperfixation or like fascination with digging holes like really deep because if he didn't, those clothes, like those makeshift clothes hangers would not have stayed up. So shout out to him. Because he was going so fast because I was stressing for time and he was like he was doing like we could not have done it without him. But yeah, it was really cool to like problem solve for those like clothes hangers because I had a really specific vision in mind. But when I looked on like where to source them, they didn't have anything that matched my idea. So I went to Home Depot and I got these poles that were like super expensive. So like I had to cover them so they didn't get dirty and I could return them later. And like getting like these like pipe things like for and like putting like other sticks in there and kind of just like stringing string through them and like I was like, this is our makeshift thing. It looks the part, it stands out, like it's fine. So just like it's always fun to like problem solve for me. So it was a nice little challenge, and I think it looks great with like all the clothes on there and like seeing everyone run through them and interact with the set by like having the dancers like push through the curtains and wash some of the clothes was just really fun to see it be like so lived in.
Yeah, and it was so fun and special to be gifted the experience to live in a set like that. Like the picnic, like genuinely it felt like we were at a picnic. I remember we were doing like all the singles and literally we were all just talking about the Hunger Games. Like the entirety of that 7 minute shot, we're all just talking about what Hunger Games character we would be. And like it was just like, as an actor, there's no better thing than being gifted just to be and to like live and that's what our character, if you're wondering what the community in Brand New talks about, they talk about what characters they are in the Hunger Games.
That's what they're talking about in there. Yeah. No, it was great to
Yeah.
see you guys like fully experience the set because like honestly, like if there wasn't like cameras following you around, you would have just been having like, picnic with friends and stuff. And like you could see that and feel that. So I'm glad that you guys felt comfortable with each other and the space.
Um, I know before we wrap up, something that was new to me, Brand New and Maybe Someday were the first films I've ever worked on where I have been in front of the camera for every single take. So normally my like go-to on set thing is to hang out with all the crew and get to talk to everyone and ask them about their lives and everything. But I know there was a lot that I missed being in front of the camera. So I just wanted to open up if there was any other like things that happen behind the scenes that I might have missed or other funny stories.
We just talk about like just the culture that was on the set of Brand New. So I spent a lot of time on Firewatch with the U-Haul and not really near where the filming was, but there was just such like whenever I needed to go get water or food when lunch was served, there was always someone, one or two, or even like three people that would, switch off with me. And people would come over and make sure that I was feeling okay. I didn't need any water. And there was just like, it was a really great community. And I think part of it is because, like, off in the distance, we could just see you guys like frolicking around and having a picnic. And that just like, I don't know, it sets a good tone for the whole set. And so really like a lot of sets I've been on, there's not really that sense of community. And, I'll just sit on Firewatch and not many people will come make sure like I'm not dying of heat stroke or something. So really there was just a great, it was a great group of people. Everyone was so helpful and so attentive to everyone and making sure everyone was having a good time, comfortable, safe, which is a big one. Yeah, even with food, making sure everyone ate. That was definitely a big one. Being outside in that hot sun was tough, and it was good to see everyone taking care of each other and making sure we all had water, we all had food. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say something kind of piggybacking off of that because it was a big sprawled out set. We were filming on like a like kind of like almost like a hiking trail, so we couldn't take the U-Haul in to a few of our locations. And so I really just wanted to like be like I felt like there was that really amazing community that was just like helping us go back and forth and like lug equipment and get everything in and then sit in the hot sun and help everybody out, like make sure everybody had water. And I remember just like everybody feeling very like open to being able to say what they needed to say and like what they needed from us and like helping each other out. And I felt like that was extremely important on a set like this. And I just wanted to props to like everybody who was there and putting in the time and the sweat that it took to get this done. But yeah.
Yeah, I also just wanted to say, like, it was such a great location. Like, just outside of Savannah. I know, like, the biggest thing I heard Leo was like, where did y'all find this? That was the biggest compliment. And it was so great of a location to have so many different, like, fonts. Like, we had the salt flat, which looked like a different place. We had the dead tree, which looked like a different place, the alive tree, and the place for the picnic. So, Leo, I'd love to hear about finding this location and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah, so actually we were kind of going for a field kind of aesthetic. So I was hunting around on Airbnb after our first location fell through. Our first location was a wedding venue that had like cattle and horses. So we were gonna have them move the animals and film in one of their fields, but unfortunately that fell through. So I was hunting around on Airbnb. And actually, part of the property that we filmed on with the campers, if anybody was by the bathrooms, it was over there. That's actually a bunch of Airbnbs that can be rented out. So I was like scrolling through the photos and seeing like, oh, this is kind of a campy campground thing. Let's see like what the surrounding area looks like. And there, was open field and, grass and all that beautiful stuff that we needed for brand new. So I reached out to the person who was hosting and they gave me the name of the owner of the property, Star, and she was wonderful in letting us film on her property. So yeah, thanks to Airbnb and thanks to Star.
All right. Well, before we move on, is there any other fun quips or anything about brand new we like to make sure to mention? Um, Actually, Luca, I'd love to hear about how editing Brand New has gone and your experience with that.
Yeah, so I think most of I think my job with Brand New specifically was how to best highlight the dance, because we did have just so much coverage of everything, which was great. And so it really did feel like a puzzle piece, kind of figuring out when do we want to go for like more of the motion, when we want to go for more of a static feel, and kind of piecing that together because the choreography that Sasha made was just so kind of vibrant and it had so many like components, so many props, so many kind of moving elements of that. So I was really trying to highlight that in any way I could. Um, and yeah, I think that the editing process was super smooth. I'm really thankful to all of you guys for making it just a really fun experience. We got to meet kind of every week and give notes, and I would give my latest cuts. And I'd never really worked on a project kind of as big as this. Like I never worked on a thesis film or anything like that. So I was, I think, a little scared going into it. But it was just such a great environment. So I felt really comfortable. And yeah, and I was just really excited to look through the footage and get to see all the amazing work that you guys did. So
And you're also a dancer too. Um, how
yeah.
was that like as a dancer? Do you think that fed into anything? Was that helpful? Like, did that have any mark on the project coming from that
Yeah, I
background?
think that I've worked actually I got my start kind of with editing through more dance videos. So that definitely helped in just having a feel for what specific moves to highlight or just getting more of a feel of the song, I think, through the editing process. I think that definitely helped. Um yeah. And then just getting to see and like the finished work that Sasha made it was just great. So yeah.
I feel like we kind of had to bring up the Devon story too, the big
Oh,
flag.
the 360 shot was so challenging because you could see everything, like every single thing that was around us. So lots of silly mistakes happened.
It was so funny. Like we did so many different takes of it, and we needed it because we had to end up cutting a little bit between it. But I remember the one shot we did. I think we were planning on stopping once Bella had made her way into the circle of dancers. But then I was like, oh, we're doing so good. Let's just keep going. So I yelled at everybody. I was like, keep going. And then Bella we just started going into the 360. But unfortunately, Devin, who I think was one of our cam people, like AC or like grip,
I think he was one of our key grips, I think.
key grip, and he was helping us with like some light shaping and like keeping light where we needed it with a big flag. And when we were going in the circle, we accidentally caught Devin trying to run away from the side of the camera. It's a really funny moment, but you know what? He was putting in the work to get that lighting. And thank you so much, Devin. But it was a really funny moment when it happened.
Out great. Like
Yeah.
the final.
It turned out
Yeah.
lots of challenges, but it turned out so good.
Yes. I do want to mention Devin was also a part of our like Film 100 cohort. I didn't realize it until we were actually on the set of Brand New. And like when you're in college, people are always tell you the people you start out with are gonna be the people you finish with somehow. And we all obviously like I was an acting major. What was I doing in Film 100? But we all like went on our own little journeys and then all ended up on the same set together. And I genuinely hope that in the future we all did Brand New maybe someday, but I really hope we all find each other again someday.
Yeah, I distinctly remember Emma McGill saying, like, take a look around at these faces because these are the faces that you're going to see. And I didn't believe her, but it's true.
Yeah, and Leo, you did such an amazing job of building such a stellar team. Like, genuinely, that credit goes to you. So I hope you are proud of what you built.
Thank you to everyone for saying yes.
That's the big one. Oh, well, thank you guys so much for joining and talking and having this chat. Before we wrap up, I would just love to go around. And unfortunately, we're missing Bella, but if you could just in 3 words sum up maybe someday in brand new to you, like whether it's a video, whether it's a song, whether it's your experience. Um, you know what? When I came up with this question, I should have come up with my own answer, but let me see. I'll answer first. Um, community, empowerment, and giggles would be my 3.
I think my 3 words to describe these 2 amazing music videos would have to be like collaboration, creativity, and like community. I think that's just a big one, how we all work together, and I'm so proud of all of us and how it went. I'm gonna say it's been one of the best experiences I've ever had on a set, on both these sets, and so I'm so grateful to have had all these people who are just amazing, kind, and very creative people to be around. So thank you.
I'll go before anybody takes my words. So I think I'd have to say 3 words to sum up my experience would be inviting, probably connected, and let me think of one more good one. I don't know, just easygoing.
I would say for brand new, joy. Community is such a good one too, though. So like I feel like I'm just gonna steal people's words at this point. But community slash like collaboration, I think was such a big part of that. Just like sunshine. It just was such a nice feeling on set, both literally and metaphorically. Sunshine.
I'm also gonna steal community because there really is just no better word for that. The community, it was a super encouraging set to work on as well as just inspiring to see Lindsey's, songs turn into music videos and everyone kind of come together to work on that. That's just so inspiring to me. So yeah, community, encouraging, and inspiring.
I will also be stealing words. I really loved inviting and community. I felt so like almost like I want to say relaxed because like the energy was just so easygoing with you guys. It was so easy to just like be in a space with you all and like it didn't feel awkward at all. Like everyone was so like welcoming and inviting that like even like in the stressful moments, like I still felt like I could fall back on you guys. And yeah, just overall like so fun. And like just being in those like locations, it almost felt like a mini like vacation at sometimes because like we were just like in the woods and like in this beautiful house and like being surrounded by nature and just like great people. It was a really fun experience.
I'm gonna steal community from everybody, but it genuinely was so wonderful to see because I feel like sometimes sets can get a little clicky and like each department is kind of isolated, but here like everyone got along, every single department, so it's wonderful to see. And then what did I say? Community, wonderful, and I'm gonna say satisfying because we like heard these songs and kind of, I don't want to say digested, but like we really dug deep into the lyrics and created a whole concept and we thought about it for so long and for so many months. And just to see it in person and like see the set and see the choreographers and like the dancers and the people and the acting, it was just so cool to see. Like I felt satisfied with what we did.
Satisfied, that's a good one. I'm gonna say love because I feel like this project was born out of love and love for music and platonic love and all of that. And I'm also gonna say perseverance because producing is perseverance. And I'm gonna say gratitude because I'm grateful for all these connections and all these experiences that came from this project that was just, a sentence in a living room at the root.
My 3 words I'd use to kind of sum up, I think my experience, but then also the videos themselves, I think definitely positivity. Um, it was, again, just like really fun to get to feel like, yes, I'm working each week with all of you, but I'm also like kind of hanging out and having like a good positive time. And I feel like that also brings it together with the videos too. I would also say growth, because I feel like I've definitely grown kind of as an editor throughout this experience, and I feel like also seeing this project grow from the beginning has just been so wonderful. And then I would also say, I think someone said this before, but easygoing was definitely another good one. Yeah.
Was that everybody? Oh, okay. Well, I think yeah, gratitude is also another word I'd like to add. Um, Again, like I said, throughout all my years of SCAD, I worked on some pretty great sets with pretty great people, but I'd never been on a set that just felt so loving and caring and inviting. And it was just wild to work on a project where, again, it was a sentence from a living room, but it was a sentence from a living room that believed in me. And I don't know, I just, as like a little small town girl from West Virginia who's just trying to get her little dreams, it was really wild, like throughout the whole process, like writing a song and people like it and sharing the song with people and people being able to take something that I created that was really close to my heart and do something so immeasurably beautiful to add to it that came from them. So I just really want to thank you guys for saying yes and for being a part of this and for making it something so beautiful and giving me like the best last year of my SCAD experience. So thank you guys. I literally owe you all and all the love.
Okay. Oh my God. Sorry. Assistant choreographer.
Oh my gosh.
So actually, I didn't do any of the choreography. It was all Kiki.
All Kiki,
She
okay.
just whispered it in my ear. What was that?
Ghost
Oh, yeah.
choreographer.
Yeah.